skill
sad
issue.
reality of being attractive. All right, now we do an actual comparison.
And with great...
Because I am considered an attractive male for the most part, at least conventionally. I don't know what scale anybody puts me on or whatever, but I've been told I was shit like that. I didn't believe I was myself, but I have gained more confidence in that. Because I do consider myself pretty attractive, but I don't think I'm anything crazy. You know what I'm saying? If I was taller though, bro, I might rule the world. You know what I'm saying? If I was 6'8" or something, man, I might take over some shit, bro. I don't know. But it is what it is, bro. But we don't see the sad reality of being attractive.
And with great power,
I see the woes.
there must also come great responsibility.
So up until recently, I was a very ugly individual. And when I say recently, I really mean Saturday. Because Saturday was the day I found out I'm actually not that bad looking. I might even be good looking. Because on Saturday, I got some good looking girls IG, which made me come to the realization that I must be good looking due to skill-based matchmaking. And self-esteem were through the roof. But don't get twisted though, I still fumbled within the space of 4 hours after getting the Instagram. Like, I'll be honest, looks don't unlame you. But here's the thing, she did say she has a man, so that could have been a reason why the little interaction didn't go as planned. Nevertheless, I still held the delusional belief that I was still good looking, so my self-esteem was through the roof. But even so, I was still very upset that I fumbled because she genuinely looked good and she seemed like a cool individual. So I was laying in my bed talking to God about why can't I crack buns. And I know retrospectively it sounds kind of crazy, but in the moment, I don't know what was over me, and I know I could have been talking to God about a lot more constructive things. For example, asking for world peace, asking for good health for my friends and family, but no, I wanted to crack buns, and I wanted to know why God didn't let me crack buns. And that's one dark side of being good looking. You get way too entitled, but obviously I'm just not at that level of good looking where I can start spamming the girls' phones.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's very true. When I even think of it remotely like I'm attractive too much, bro. It is, like, you feel self-entitlement. It's a real thing, bro. Like, no cap. You get self-entitlement if you even feel, like, remotely attractive. You can get self-entitlement. Like, you're thinking, people looking at you a certain way and stuff. I had to stop assuming that. Like, you know, just like the look thing I was telling you about. It's just, like, when you think, like, too much of that, and then if you get rejected after that, you're just like, maybe I'm thinking it. You know, maybe it's just a little self-entitlement. And I had thought of that before. Because that could play a part of, a lot of things, you know, the self-entitlement, but it also could be women playing games as well. So it's like a two-sided thing, but self-entitlement heavy.
So they can reply to me, no, I don't have an XP for that. If I start spamming the girl's phone, they are going to block me. Because deep down in my soul, I know really and truly I am still a ugly individual. So I make sure I'm very respectful when addressing females. Then fast forward to today, Sunday, when I'm coming back from church and I see these two giant meatballs right in front of me. And I'll be honest with you, I was completely mesmerized. I was in a genjutsu instantly. That's the type of meatballs I'll be seeing on my iPhone X or on my iPad. Well, at least I used to see those type of stuff, because obviously gooning is banned in the UK, unfortunately. So obviously I'm feeling mad deprived, mixed in with that boost of confidence I got yesterday. I was really ready to live out every gooner's fantasy, because this was a Latina BBL bandit. This was bandit hub exclusive type of stuff, and I had this in front of me in real life. So what type of person would I be if I didn't go and interact with that person? Bear in mind, this person was twice my age, but as I said, that confidence boost I got on Saturday was doing stuff to me. I was feeling like I was really that guy. And she started glancing back at me, so I saw the side of her face and her lips, and I instantly knew she was 70% plastic. She was a OF demon. I had to follow through and make this shot. So I was thinking back to every single Lalo 11 video I've watched, and next thing you know, I was in a conversation with her, and the conversation wasn't even going bad until I started asking her about ethnicity, and that's why I realized she was a little bit slow in the head. Then I finally looked at her face and I realized she had a face job and it was completely botched. Her lips looked infected. Damn. So my mind was telling me to walk away, but my piece was too focused on the meatballs on her backside, so I kept on conversating with her. But the more we talked, I began to realize that she was really missing some chromosomes. But my piece did not care. My lust knew no bounds, so obviously I had to go and get the IG. So obviously I successfully bagged the IG, but the slight dilemma was that when I put my IG into her phone, I had to hotspot her because she had no data, and I was really wondering why a grown woman did not have her mobile bill paid off. But to be fair to her, we are in a cost of living crisis, so stuff is expensive. And in addition to that, she was trying to buy some stuff from a charity shop, so maybe that OF is not hitting as much as I thought. And while we were doing the IG exchange, I noticed that she was playing with my hair a little bit, which was a little bit weird to me. And what was more concerning was that people were stopping and looking at me, and there were some white people looking at me, but what was a little bit concerning, I was seeing some Hispanic people and some Somalian people stopping and looking at me. But again, my self-esteem was through the roof, so I thought they were just watching my masterclass performance, and that fueled my ego even more, because I was really feeling like Duke Dennis at this point, to the point where I went in for a hug, and she hugged me back, but she went in for a full hug, which was a little bit uncomfortable, caught me off guard, but it was cool. But what was weird to me, she
that do
kissed
catch
me
you
on my
off
right
guard.
cheek with her
They give you like a full hug, bro. I'm over here expecting like just like, you know, we just met type shit. Like I expect all that, but no, that shit do catch
full
you
of
off
lips,
guard.
and her body was rubbing up on my third hand tech fleece, and she didn't smell that great either. So I'm already knowing I caught some type of disease, but here's the thing, my piece is still focused on them meatballs, and for some reason my piece was a little bit too transfixed, because as I walked away it was still rising, so I had to put my hands in my trousers to cover it. And I wasn't dressed like I was going to church either. I sly looked like a thug, especially since I had my hands in my trousers. People genuinely thought I was clutching, and retrospectively I don't know what possessed me to do that, because I looked like I was clutching in a thug attire in an area that's
In
3
UK.
hours away from my own home. I was so far away from home that the buses weren't even red. And as I'm walking, there's this one guy who just starts keeping making eye contact with me, like he was proper staring me down. He had an off-white pouch covered by a black waistcoat. I've never seen such a unique attire in my life. I knew for a fact he was clutching something. He had his hands in that waistcoat like he was clutching something, so I knew something was up. So as he's right next to me,
ready
still
for your
staring
ass.
me dead in my eyes, he says to me, "You good?" Then for some idiotic reason, I then reply and say, "Yeah, you good." And thank God it was a decently cool-headed Somalian guy, because how I said "you good" was mad aggressive. That was low-key fighting talk. I remember when I said that to someone in secondary school, and he then replied and said he would knock me out. And at least in secondary school, there's teachers there to protect you. But I was in a random area. I didn't even know the name of the area, and I was engaging in fighting talk. I'm really showing you that tech fleece and them black Air Forces really had me feeling like a YN. And then he went to go ask me, "Am I from here?" And unless you were dropped on the head as a baby, there's only one right answer to this question. And obviously, I passed that test easily, which led to me safely evading an unskippable cutscene. And then I started putting two and two together, since the girl I was talking to was Latina, and I realized I spoke to the wrong OF demon. And I was on a long stretch of main road, so I just kept on power walking up the road to try find some side road to try escape. And as I kept on walking down the long road, people started looking at me mad suspiciously. They were proper eyeing me up like I was some KFC fried chicken. And then it generally started clicking that I might have just risked my entire life for a hug and a kiss on the cheek. So my first instinct is to just take off a tech fleece and try hide my identity as best as I can. And by the time I'm off the main road, the tech fleece is in my bag, and I see the Jamaican guy sly looking at me, and everyone else that was looking at me looked semi-sane. But this Jamaican guy in particular, he looked like he had nothing to lose. His hairstyle said it all. And as I walked past him, I start running a little bit, because I'm a little bit scared. But I'm not scared to the
Hey, bro, you see them wicks, bro. You see them wicks, you better run. Them wicks don't get them white people, bro. Oh, no, they're not white, but still, they don't get you,
point where
bro.
I'm thinking about calling an Uber, calling my parents, but for some reason, I'm thinking about making a YouTube video about this. But thoughts of making a YouTube video completely were erased from my mind as soon as I saw these 3 Somalians across the road just staring me down.
Fuck no.
And I knew I had to do some type of identity change like in the movie. So my first irrational thought was to cut my hair off and try go on the run, but I'm realizing I'm being a little bit over dramatic. So I did the next best solution. I then took off my jeans, and obviously I always wear shorts under my stuff, but for some reason I was wearing booty shorts that day, and my shirt was mad tight for some reason, so you could really see the imprint of my whole cheeks. And I only had a white hat in my bag, so I had to slap on a white beanie on top of my freeforms, so my fit was mad egregious. I had a black tight tee, red booty shorts with a white hat, and black Air Forces. And I know it sounds embarrassing that I had to take a 3-hour journey home in that type of fit, but here's the thing, I'm in the safety of my home making this video, and I guarantee if in my position you do the exact same thing, because I can assure you that once I switched my attire, no one was staring at me. And I'll be completely honest with you, I have sly learned my lesson. Not learning my lesson about moving to females, but I understand that there has to be some type of age restriction, an age cap. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, when I got back into London, I did check the IG, and then I realized what actually happened and why people were staring at me. Because she has a whole baby daddy, and her baby daddy is not to be messed with. Again, he looks like a type of individual that has nothing to lose. And yes, I did the responsible thing and blocked her. But in conclusion, I'm not taking any accountability for what I have done today. I'm blaming on everyone else but myself. But seriously, that day made me realize there's levels levels to the shark and stuff, and I am a bubble guppy. I'm not built for that lifestyle. Just like money, looks don't unlame you. And the thing is, I'm not even really good looking. I low-key clickbaited you guys. I got a little bit of a glow up. I'm just not chopped anymore. But I am very far from good looking. And even if I was good looking, that is still not my body. And yes, as I previously said, I had a glow up and no one is taking that away from me. I know I look a lot better than I used to because recently in school I've been moving like a straight quiet kid and people for some reason have actually been laughing at my jokes, and I haven't even been attempting to make any jokes, so I know these dimples are mashing work. But a massive downside of that is that I no longer get that special educational needs treatment from the females. And what I mean by that is instead of being treated like that one autistic friend, I am now treated like the average Joe. So no more pity hugs, no more pity conversations, no more pity highs and hellos, they just ignore me. So I actually have to go out my way and try to start a conversation with a female. And I'm showing you, I'm not built for this, but me being a medium ugly individual paired with the fact I'm basically a grown man, I am now in ranked lobbies. So I'm competing against rappers, athletes and scammers. So in all seriousness, I need to make something of myself, otherwise I'm gonna have to switch sides because this market is way too competitive for my liking. Come more time when I'm trying to talk to girls, they're followed by professional footballers that own Mercedes CLA when I'm still trying to raise funds for the DVSA theory test. In all seriousness, my life is miserable. I have no female attention, no money, no friends, and don't even get me started on the education side because it's all failing. Everything in my life is just crumbling and falling. I see no success in my future. I see straight failure. Like I literally have zero purpose for existing, and this is not me trying to be like on some hateful depressed thing, but it's genuinely true. Like on Monday I was sitting down in class and the teacher didn't even process I was in the classroom. Bear in mind I sit by myself, I stick out like a sore thumb. It took the teacher like 10 minutes to process that I was in the classroom. I was right in front of her line of sight. She didn't even process I was there. I'm just an entity roaming this earth. Similar situation when I was trying to move to this one girl on Tuesday. She completely ignored me. She didn't even process I was there. Normally I'm used to the you're ugly, get away from me, nah, I have a man, stuff like that, but she didn't even process I was there. Like I'm the bummiest of the bums. Stuff like that hasn't happened to me since I was year 8. But the difference is from when I was in year 8, I'm actually trying to do stuff but nothing is working, like, and it's genuinely getting me lost.
Damn, that end part sounded sad, bruh. This clickbait, you still chop. Nah, I feel the last part though, bruh. Like with all the stuff that's going on, man, everybody like ahead of the curve at such a young age, bro. Like rappers, musicians, all these people, like they were saying, like the streamers, you know, like all the it's hard to feel a sense of purpose, bro. I feel like I don't have one either, bro. I've been trying to be out here and find it, bro. That's what I'm doing. I'm on the journey of finding that purpose, bro. Got divorced, you know. You gotta figure out what to do next. Everything has changed. I will say that. Like after that, like everything has changed, bro. So trying to feel a purpose in life with all this, like everybody flying by you, making more money than you. You may be struggling. Feels like you have no help for real. Like, dog, like, and like it's not just me. Everybody be there, bro. I don't know. Everybody feels like purposeless. Like I didn't expect him to be like that, but hey, he feels like that too, bro. And that's exactly how I feel sometimes, bro. It sucks. That's all I have to say about it. It just really sucks. Most of perfect height, not mine, but perfect height, literally probably like 5'8", like the national average or whatever.